Happy Monday, boys and girls. In today's math lesson, we're going to work more with data and graphing. And after today's lesson, you should be able to tell me the features of a bar graph, how a bar graph is the same and how a bar graph is different than a picture graph or pictograph. And also you will be able to answer many questions by looking at different bar graphs and comparing the data on them. So if you remember, in our last math lesson on Friday, we talked about picture graphs or pictographs. And we said a pictograph uses what to show the data that's been collected? How does it represent that data? Yeah, good. Pictures, right? So if this was a pictograph of our favorite shapes, it uses different shapes to represent, to show there's 4 triangles. That means 4 people chose triangle. There's 2 heart pictures, so that means 2 people chose hearts, right? So a pictograph or picture graph uses pictures to show the data that's been collected. Sometimes it's different pictures like this, sometimes it's all the same, right? And we said that all picture graphs or pictographs have some things in common. Do you remember what all picture graphs or pictographs have? Go ahead and tell me. Good. Awesome. All right. Yes, I heard somebody tell me. If we look at this graph, right? This is a picture graph. I heard somebody say all pictographs have a title, right? So we know what the graph is all about. What did the people ask to collect their data? In this case, our favorite pets. They must have asked, what's your favorite pet? You need to have a title so you know what the data is showing, right? Okay, I heard somebody else say pictures. Of course, in a picture graph, data is represented by pictures, right? In this case, pictures of different animals. Also, I heard labels, right? In a picture graph, you can obviously, if it's a picture of a snake, you know that, oh, this is a snake, right? Fish, cat, dog. So these labels are important, but really important, let's just say you used all circles or just all cats or dogs for all the different categories. You need to make sure you mark your labels, right? And finally, all pictographs have keys, right? That say how many each picture represents. In kindergarten, always going to be 1, right? So if you have 5 pictures of dogs, that shows that 5 people chose dogs as their favorite pet, right? But when you get in first grade, right, it might say key equals 10, which means for each of these pictures, you have to count by 10s, right? So the key, very important in a picture graph because we need to know how many each picture stands for. And of course, we talked about pictographs. They can either be vertical, up and down, or horizontal, side to side. All right, so that's a quick little review of pictographs or picture graphs, which are really important to review because I told you we're going to compare bar graphs to pictographs, so we needed a little review lesson. So now, in a bar graph has a very, very similar, has a lot of the same things as a pictograph, except it doesn't use pictures to show the data. If a pictograph uses pictures, what do you think a bar graph uses? Yeah, good. A bar graph uses bars to show the data, right? Now this is kind of hard because there's no numbers on my graph, right? But we'll look at this one later, right? Well, I'll show you here, right here. Oh, I didn't want to show you yet. Sorry, Mrs. Gibbs is going crazy. So this should really have numbers on it to show, but this is just a picture of what a bar graphs look like, right? But you can see, even if it doesn't have numbers, you can still tell that the bar, the taller the bar, right, the more it is, right? I told you to remember, think of it as a candy bar, right? That's your favorite candy bar, right? You want it to be really big because you love it, right? That's the most, right? You want the most. What's the least on this one? Doesn't have a title, so we don't know what it's representing, but what's the least bar graph? Bar, I should say, on this graph. Yeah, the pink, right? So even though it doesn't have numbers or a title, you can still get information easily from a bar graph because they all, I'm going to show you on this one, right? They all have, it's very important with the bar graph is that all the bars are the same size. Remember when we did our story in the graph contest way long ago when we started graphing and we talked about the cookies? Right? We said it could be a pictograph because it is pictures, but I said it's kind of like a bar graph because all the cookies are the same size, right? And I said that's really important in a bar graph that all the bars are the same size, so you have an equal comparison, right? You can't tell on this graph or the graphs I'm going to show you, right? But, or this, right? You can't tell, but you can tell that they're equal, right? All right, so the bar graph uses bars to show the data, right? And it has a lot of the same things, all right? So I'm going to show you a picture of a bar graph and just look at it and think about how a bar graph is like a pictograph. There's some same things. Can you go ahead, shout them out? How is it like? Yeah, good, right. I heard lots of different things. I heard title, right? We need to know what we're graphing, what information is on our graph, right? Our favorite pets. If we didn't have a title, it's a dog, cat, fish, snake, and maybe how many pets are left in the pet store, right? So we need a title to show that this graph is showing our favorite pets. Good. I heard somebody else say labels, right? There's no pictures on this one, so it's very important that a bar graph has labels, right? Because I'm not showing pictures of dogs and cats and fish and snakes, so I need to know the labels, right? What's represented? What were my choices of favorite pets? Dogs, cats, fish, and snake. Yep, and I also heard somebody say data, right? Yes, there is data. All graphs have data, right? But in this case, the data is bars. In a pictograph, the data is in pictures, right? Now, there's something on a bar graph that's different than a pictograph. Since we don't have pictures, do we need a key? No, but what we do need is, what are these? Numbers, right. We do need numbers to show how many, especially if you don't have individual bars to count, right? This just is all blended together, whereas this one has individual bars to count. But if you don't have the individual bars to count, then you definitely need the numbers so you can see, oh, how many people like fish? Boom, 5. How many like snakes? 1, right? So numbers, very important on a bar graph, right? So the 4 things you need to always have if you're making a graph to remember, if you're making a bar graph, you need data in the form of bars, you need a title, you need numbers on the side so we can easily and quickly see how many of each and compare, and of course you need your labels. Very good. Now we're going to practice answering some questions about bar graphs, but you've been sitting and kiss your brain. You've been sitting so nicely and learning so much about bar graphs, so I'm going to let you get up and get your wiggles out. And since we were talking about pets, we're going to act like some pets, right? So go ahead and act like a dog. Get around all fours. Go in circles. Chase your tail, right? Say woof, 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 woof. Or bow, wow, right? Be a dog. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done being a dog. Okay, how about a cat? Go ahead, be a cat. Show me your best cat. Good, I hear meow, meow. Oh, I see people licking their paws. Good. Awesome. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Okay. How about a fish? Can you be a fish? And swim around your room. Swim, swim, go like this. Right, swim around. And finally, a snake. Slither like a snake. Crawl on the ground. Slither, slither, slither. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. Okay, come back. Crisscross applesauce. Ready to listen? Okay, let's review what we just said. How is a bar graph? Oh, like a pictograph, right? It has a title. It has labels. It has data. How is it different? Well, the data for a pictograph has pictures. The data for a bar graph is represented by bars, right? And the big difference? Pictographs have a key to say how many. A bar graph has numbers to say how many. Oh, and I forgot one other thing that's the same, and I forgot to tell you. Just like pictographs, bar graphs can be vertical, up and down, or horizontal, side to side. All right, so let's answer some questions now. You've done such a good job telling me the similarities and differences between bar graphs and pictographs. You know what all bar graphs have to have, right? So now let's look at a bar graph that I made you. Now this one helps a little bit, right? Because it has the individual bars, right? It has the individual bars. And if you remember when we did graphs in class sometimes, right, I said it's really helpful just to be able to go ahead and I'm going to hold it back here so you can't see my numbers, right? I'm going to trick you for a little bit. Well, not trick you first, but I'm going to see if you can tell me, right? So remember when we look, that's why we have our numbers so we can find it quickly, right? So let's see. You can count them, right? You can go ahead and count. That's one way to do it since they're individual. But if they're not individual bars, then you need to learn how to use your numbers, right? So first of all, just looking at this graph, how many, oh, we forgot to look. Let's go over our labels, right? I gotta go over, Mrs. Gibbs is going crazy. Rewind, let's go back. Let's first figure out what our graph is about, right? Silly Mrs. Gibbs. All right, so you have some pictures. These are your labels, right? It says baseball, soccer, football, volleyball, basketball. Right, okay, so our title is sports, and that's okay, right? But what about sports? Are these the sports that are offered at the school? Is it our favorite sports, right? So it's okay to title your graph sports, but you might want to make it more specific, like our favorite sports, so we know just what we're asking. So that's what we're going to pretend. We're going to pretend it says our favorite sports, right? So we have our title, favorite. We're going to pretend this says favorite sports. We have our labels, right? It's okay to just have pictures, especially in kindergarten, but it helps to have words too, so I added the words, right? Now we have our data in the bars, already done for you, and then we have our numbers. So now I'm going to hold it back here so you can see how many, see if you can, I guess I can just cover it up. How many people chose baseball, right? So we go to the very top, right? We go over and we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we can just move our finger over and see that that's a 5, right? It's very helpful to put it on the top. What about soccer? Go to the top. Can't see. And what is it? It's all the way at the top. How many people like soccer? Yeah, 9. Good, and that's how you do it. You can see with football, that's easy to count 3, but you can move over and get to 3. Volleyball, go to the top, move over. What is it? 7. And finally, basketball. We go to the top, we move our finger over, and it's 6. All right, so now that we have our graph all ready to go, right? We know its favorite sport. We have our labels. Now we can ask some comparison questions, right? because I already did the hard work, I can say how many like football? 3. How many chose baseball? 5. See, that's right up there to tell me. How many chose basketball? 6. Easy peasy. But what if I say, how many more chose volleyball than football? Oh, how many more? Remember, we want to know the difference. Graphs are to compare information, right? So, do you remember how we did this on Friday? What do we have to ask? Who has a partner? Good. Who has a partner? So let's see. We're comparing soccer and football. So let's see. Do they have a partner? Yes. Do these two have a partner? Yes. Do these two have a partner? Yes. Does he have a partner? No. So we can put our paper there and count how many blues do not have a partner, right? So we count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means there's 6 more people who like soccer than football. Oh, I think I originally said volleyball and I changed it to soccer, sorry. So 6 more like soccer than football. Now we'll do how many more people like volleyball than football. Let's see. All right, so we go again. We're comparing volleyball and football. So we have to ask, who has a partner? Partner, partner, partner. Oh, how many don't have a partner? Show me with your fingers. Good, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome job. So graphs, bar graphs are really good for comparing how many more, right? Very easy to see. How many more people like volleyball than basketball? See if you can figure that one out all by yourself. How many more people like volleyball than basketball? These two. Yeah, 1. Very good. You are awesome at answering questions about bar graphs. Okay, let's go ahead and say bye-bye to this graph, right? We said it had all the things that it needed, right? It had, what's this called? Pretend it's his favorite sports, right? Good, title. And what are these called? That helps us to know how many on a bar graph. Good, numbers, right? You know those are numbers, right? But they're very convenient to have on a bar graph so we can quickly see how many. Oh, and what were these called so we know what our graph is about? Labels, awesome. And finally, we have our data, right, in the form of a bar graph. Bar graphs make it very easy to compare the most, the least, right? Oh, that's what I forgot. What did people like the most? Soccer. What did they like the least? Football, right? You can tell because it's the least. It's not a big candy bar. That's a big candy bar, right? Okay, good. So that was our vertical bar graph, up and down. Let's quickly look at a horizontal bar graph. Well, first of all, before we look at the graph. Now, if I asked you a question, well, it might be kind of easy. What do they like most? Okay, yeah, you'd have to count them, right? You might be able to tell the pinks are the most. What did they like least? Okay, good. But what about this one? How many more people liked pink than yellow? Is that so easy to find quickly? No, because you got to look for partners. Pink and yellow. Okay, well, I guess they can be partners, and well, then they can be partners, but then I get so confused and I have to circle my partners, right? But now look, what if it's in a graph? Now is it easy to see how many more people like, oh, I forgot to color the pink than yellow? Yeah, now it's very easy to see. Oh, 1, 2, right? So I just wanted to show you how convenient graphs are. I'm going to make them, it's supposed to be strawberry. I don't think I have a pink one. Silly Mrs. Gibbs. All right, anyways, look at my graph here. Don't need this anymore. That was just to show you how to represent the picture, how nicely the graph represents. All right, so let's look at my graph. I think my graph is missing some things. What do you think? This is our last little part to get to show you show me how smart you are, that you know what's happening, right? Right. What is my graph missing? Right, a title. So I don't know if this is our favorite kind of cupcakes, chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry, that I forgot to color pink, or is it cupcakes left at the bakery? Right, we don't know. We have to have a title. So since we did our favorite on the last one, right, let's do cupcakes left at the bakery, right? Because maybe they wanted to know what were left and we made a graph to show, right? Never know why somebody wants to know. All right, now we have a title. Good, so now we know it's cupcakes left at the bakery. And what else is well, I guess this is good because it's individual bars, but what if I didn't have these individual bars? What does my graph need? My bar graph. Yeah, numbers. I need my numbers so I can answer them quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So I have my title, cupcakes left at the bakery. I have my data all colored in, right? My bars are all colored in. You can see they're all blue. I have my numbers so I can easily see how many, like this one. Oh, easy peasy. 5, right? I don't. And do I have my labels? Well, I have pictures, which I said are really important for kindergarten, right? But I could add on the side here, I could add chocolate, and that'll help since Mrs. Gibbs forgot, right? Since she forgot to color that last one pink. I can do chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, right? And so then if I have the words, right, then that makes my labels even better. Now my graph is perfect and ready to answer questions, right? So, of course, what kind of cupcake do they have most of at the bakery? Yeah, easy to see, right? Pretend that's pink, strawberry. And what cupcake do they have least of left at the bakery? Yeah, right there, right? This one's the least. Vanilla, good. And do you have more chocolate or vanilla left at the bakery? I'll hold it really close. Yeah, good. More chocolate. How many more? Let's see. Partner, partner, partner. Oh, no partner. Just one without a partner. That means there's one more. Very good. And do you have more vanilla or strawberry? Good, right. Do you have more strawberry? How many more? Good. Let's see. All of these have partners. Let me get my paper. So how many don't have partners? 2. Awesome. Mwah. Double kiss your brain. You did everything we were supposed to do. You showed me that you know what all bar graphs have to have. You showed me that you know how they're the same as pictographs and how they're different. And finally, you answered so many questions. I'm so proud of you. You are looking good. Whoosh! That was for the girls. And now for the boys, you're looking good. Whoosh! All right, boys and girls. Oh, No math lesson tomorrow because you've been working so hard. I'm giving you the day off, but I'll still read you a story. So I will see you for a math lesson on Wednesday. Bye, boys and girls.